Michel Aoun has accused the ruling March 14th coalition of arming its supporters there in Tripoli. Any evidence of that?
Well, actually, these accusations in Lebanon are, of course, always, there are always bilateral accusations between both sides, of course. Now, Parliament Majority Leader Saad al-Hadidi denies, for example, that any of the March 14 alliance carry weapons. But if you look at evidence, what happened during the events in Beirut, on the streets of Beirut in May, we did see actually certain armed men in Beirut which were carrying arms. So, concerning arms in Lebanon, I don't think you can exclude any group, whether it be opposition groups or, of course, opposition groups or parliamentary majority groups. In Lebanon, everyone has weapons, and this is why the evidence of this is what you're seeing right now, of course. If these groups didn't have weapons, we wouldn't see these scuffles which go on for days, which allow certain groups to stay holding on for days. So concerning weapons, of course, this issue is very common in Lebanon. All political groups are armed in this country.
Aoun also described Prime Minister designate Signora as a project for civil war instead of acting as a force for unity, dialogue and understanding. How unpopular is he with the opposition there?
Well, here the question, that's very significant what you asked. Now, of course, even one of the members of a parliament majority, an MP, a famous MP, even called on Signora to apologize and say, I give up, I will give a Prime Minister designate to someone else. This is an MP from the parliament majority itself. That's a very significant statement. So it appears that the unpopularity of Signora now is slowly, very slowly, but step by step going from the opposition, even going into parliament majority MPs who are also, of course, criticizing Signora. Their number is not a lot, of course, but certain MPs, we've heard from one very famous one, that Signora should apologize and step down. So, of course, his unpopularity seems to be increasing. Yes, and by the way, of course, concerning Prime Minister Signora, he is now in Vienna attending a conference for the rebuilding of the Nahr al-Barid Palestinian refugee camp, which was destroyed during battles between the Lebanese army and a group called Fatah al-Islam last year, during battles which waged on for 3 months. He's attending a conference there concerning this camp. So any political progress, anything concerning the National Unity Government will have to wait until he comes back, which will probably be not before 48 hours.
Okay, Ali, we've just seen a gunman, armed gunman walk behind you. If you could ask the cameraman to pan around again and describe the situation.
Okay, just a second. صور المسلح. Okay, if you can, I don't know if you can see him there.
Yeah.
Of course, walking. That's, yes. So, of course, that's a situation. We see many such people there. You can hear once again an explosion. I don't know if we can see smoke now. I'm going to tell my colleague to give a pan around and give you, of course, a picture of the smoke. If we can see smoke arising, the explosion was very loud. The explosion was very loud. I don't know if you can see any smoke from here. No smoke here, no smoke can be seen, but the explosion was very loud actually. So of course, in general, as you can see, militants are on the streets, armed men are on the streets, explosions continuing. It has lessened a bit from when you began talking to me until now. The gunshots have slightly, I repeat, slightly lessened. Yeah.
Yeah, there seems to be more people on the streets there, just walking around, armed and unarmed. And obviously, there was a few journalists there I saw wearing flak jacket and helmet. But how would somebody on the street know the factions one from each other? I mean, they all seem to be dressed in a very similar way, carrying the same weapons.
Yeah, well, here, of course, we're standing on one side. Of course, we're supporters of one certain political group are with each other. Of course, supporters of one group are here. That's why you can see similar clothing. Of course, everyone walking a calm situation. Here, of course, we are on one side. The other side, of course, across here is where the other side is, and you can see snipers, of course, exchanging fire. That's where the gunshots are. So this is the situation in general on the streets. The only people you do see here are either journalists, a small number of journalists, or armed men. Of course, this is a situation in general, a ghost town. As I said, the Lebanese army probably waiting for a small period of calm in order to enter into the main areas of battle.
Okay, what role is the president playing in all of this? President Suleiman, obviously he must be making some attempt or making some comments to try and calm the situation. And my producer here again has just asked me if you could pan the camera around so the viewers can get an idea of the situation that you are in.
Okay, just a second. I'm going to tell the cameraman to give you a pan around. Just a second. Okay. Of course, concerning Michel Suleiman, actually, people have been disappointed with his performance in general. Of course, Michel Suleiman, actually, the